Nothing beats the small town community where everyone seems to know everyone. We know each other's families, and we have a long history together that um, there's that creates that bond. When one hurts in the community, others feel it. I mean, that's what I love about the small community of Bucksport. Small in size, but big in heart, and we really enjoy being here. I think it was the consecutive flooding. Like I said, I lived in Bucksport most of my life, and we only heard stories of flooding. It to me it was so far removed from our current day living. You never thought it would happen again. And I think we got our first flooding with
Matthew.
with Matthew, yes. And then
Florence.
thinking that would never happen again.
Yeah.
Florence.
Yeah.
And then we've had some near misses. Where we've had the flooding in the Upper Carolina that came down, and we had some rising. Then we realized we had a problem that was going to be with us for a long time if we don't do something about it, if something's not really done. For us, most of our damage was really in Matthew was more superficial than a whole lot of structural damage. We had the siding, things that the air conditioning unit, of course, but there were things that were low on the ground, but not as much structural damage as further down into Bucksport received. Now, when we dealt with Florence, much different story. The waters rose a lot higher, a lot more structural damage to the flooring. It actually rose a little bit higher on the front end of Bucksport Road, which is where my mother's located, to the effect of about 2.5 to 3 feet inside the home.
Wow.
So of course, a lot of walls had to be torn out, a lot of flooring, and caught off guard. Flood insurance was not even something that was even thought of. I mean, even after Matthew, people were really feeling like that was that 1,000-year flood or the 100-year flood, or whatever they call it, and people actually put in their minds it'll be another 100 years before we see this again. Well, it was only 2 years later that we saw something worse than Matthew. So so now people are really concerned about their future. Rebuilding is now something that people actually compare to leaving the area. And I really feel that is what is very tragic for an area like this that has a long history and close knit. The people that you have that affiliation with are having to leave.
Yeah.
And because income levels, if you don't know this, Bucksport has a very high poverty rate. So rebuilding is not really an option.
Right.
And the fact that a lot of people have never really mitigated heirs property, so they didn't get a lot of help down here. A lot of families, FEMA was unable to help at all. So we still have a large percentage of people that are considered homeless because they didn't get any help and can't get any help, because if you know anything about trying to litigate heirs property after a long period of time, you're looking at lawyer fees and upwards of $15,000. I need to expand a little bit on what I meant by always living for the next tragedy.
Yeah.
When you're living and you're insecure about what might happen next. I'm not talking about the, that natural, feeling of we don't know how long we're going to live, but there's something about once you've gone through this more than once and realized that, help is not always right around the corner, because a lot of people are suffering the same things you are. You really become, like you said, you can get anxious, but at the same time, you can get, I guess, I begin to second guess everything that I do that might put my family in that situation again. I would not dare buy the latest, the newest of anything, thinking that everything might be needed for the next tragedy. It's almost like a constant fear that you never really seem to get over in your decision making. I didn't have that before. You knew you knew you had a job, and you've had a couple of years of a consistent income, so you would make, do things based on that certainty. Now I don't feel that certainty anymore. I don't feel that security, and especially as a husband, you're always concerned not so much about me, but about my family.
Yeah.
We have a 3-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son, and they're very much dependent on every decision that we make.
Yeah.
So like I said, for me, I would love to have that security about future decisions, and because when we got out and we started talking like you, I wanted to do something to get that security back. So I started working with Horry County Stormwater. Can you help us with the drainage system here, so that we feel a little bit more comfortable that, when this situation comes again, that the water will actually go through our community, giving us more time to evacuate. I mean, do the things that would make us feel better. Can we talk about raising houses so that we don't feel like if this happens again, we're gonna lose our house. It's $22,000 to raise a house.
Right.
So we want that security feeling back. That feeling that if this happens again, we're not going to see the significant loss that everybody has experienced during that time, and a great part of the community is still feeling.
Yeah.